It might be a little delay. Do you see yours?
When I say, you stay. I keep getting send a comment, so I've
That's
been
all I got
typing
too.
in there. I was hoping that was it.
That's all I'm getting to.
Oh, I see
Yeah,
something.
so I was sending the comment.
That's what
That's fine. It's picking it up. Let me see.
Oh, so we are supposed to throw in comments?
Oh, no, it just says there are 4 people.
Just like the anti-Android thing again. Charlie, are you in said survey?
I am, and I have an Android.
Okay, it's me and Art then. Oh.
I'm enjoying my work fine.
All right, so if you can't, it's okay to write it on the sheet and we'll just collect them.
All right, thank you.
But here's what your colleagues have said so far.
Oh, our stuff thinks so.
I'm gonna leave y'all alone.
What's going on?
All right. You can add more if you choose. Good. Inclusive, building local and global citizens, transformative, future forward, embracing change, transformational, forward thinking, Android is greater than iPhone. What? I don't know who did that. Wasn't me. Wasn't me.
It was Nikki.
I have no
Right. So we'll take those in. It was as simple as that. So to let you know what our next step is, I will report this to our facilitator. She's going to review the prioritized ideas. We will draft a mission statement based on the feedback that you've given, coupled with the committee that's working on this, and then we'll implement the feedback to get to our final document. Any questions? It didn't take 3 hours. We can do it.
We'll be snowed in if it takes 3 hours.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to reports and recommendations. Athletic vehicle purchase, Herb Hayden.
All right, I'm standing in for the icon, Mr. Lauren Granger. Happy New Year to everybody and welcome to the new board trustees. My name is Herb Hayden and I'm the Senior Director of Operations. It's good to see everybody here. So I am presenting on behalf of our Athletic Director, Lauren Granger. And what it is he has a recommendation here for a vehicle purchase for our athletic department. The summary there that was passed to you before is that we have a shortage of bus drivers and sometimes leads athletic teams to find last-minute transportation. Trips are too short, and he just expressed to me, he's in a conference now down in North Carolina. So while we're out here struggling in the weather, he's down there chilling in North Carolina, in Charlotte at AD. But he did express, he said, over just this weekend, there were 2 events that the sporting teams had to get to. We had a higher dean, and it cost basically about $300 for each trip because it's a minimum of 6 hours. One was just going to Harper Creek, one was going down to Hastings. So those short trips alone cost us about $600 for that. So his recommendation, and if you see that's included there, is that the board approve the purchase of 2 expeditions from Lunghammer Ford for the purpose of transporting athletes to contests when the buses are not available and are not economical. We did express that these expeditions will not only have the space to transport the students, but also have space for equipment. So he will be able to get students to wrestling events, swim events, and that type of thing as well. In front of you again, if I believe included in the packet were the 3 bids for the 3 vehicles, and the money will come out of the general funds of athletics. Any questions?
Yes.
Do we own other transportation?
So yes, yep, we have 2 other vans that are about 16 years old, and they're becoming not safe. So this would definitely make it safer and as well as more affordable for us as well.
What are those used for?
Transport, there's 6, well, let me back.
Same athletics.
Yeah, athletics, yes. And the our
So it's
vans,
like replacing those.
correct,
Okay.
correct.
Who drives them? That was my other question.
That's what I was going to ask.
Coaches.
The coaches drive.
So were they just not operational on the days when we had to rent from Dean? Is that what happened? Or
One more time.
you said there were days we had to rent from Dean?
Correct.
Were those other vans
Because,
just
yes,
not
because
operational?
they are becoming unsafe.
Oh,
They're-
they're
yes.
actually unsafe now. Okay,
Yes.
that's coming.
Dr. Harvey's over there now.
Yes,
They're becoming unsafe.
very.
They're so old. So these are replacements to upgrade the old vans.
Thank you.
The coaches will drive them, and the new law states they can't be over 8 passengers, is it? Yeah.
Yes.
So you don't get those big
16 passenger.
That was the question I was about to ask. What about?
Can't under the
So
law.
they're insurable.
So they don't need special licenses to drive them.
And then our person also said that, again, insurance-wise, they will cover it.
So with these, you don't need
Correct.
the license,
They're regular
just
passenger.
regular passenger.
Operation.
So they would be limited to 8.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you so much. Moving on to B, BCPS Emergency Operations Manual.
Hi, I'm Herb Hayden. That's me. What I've been able to put in front of you is, after a while, being able to culminate and finish our emergency operations plan. I will say, when I first came aboard, I said, oh yeah, we'll be able to do this. And Monique gave me these 2 books and said, here they are, Herb. And I said, well, let's just bite off an elephant, as we know to eat an elephant, bite it off one bite at a time. And thanks to Dr. Cheeks, able to help me and put some pieces together. Also our school resource officer. The manual integrates the best practices of emergency management tailored to the unique needs of the district and reflects the collaboration of our emergency response agency. So I was able to pull together Lieutenant Chris Young, our partners over at Calhoun County Sheriff's Department, and put this together as well. The emergency operation was created and dedicated, as I mentioned, with Dr. Cheeks, and this collaborative approach has resulted in comprehensive resource tailored, again, to the unique needs of schools. I just said that. The recommendation is that developed in alignment with best practices and district leadership, local response agencies, and community stakeholders to ensure it meets the highest standards of preparedness. Again, unfortunately, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And we do need to be ready for it. Next step, the one thing that we're looking at now, we have the district together. Now what I will do is put together, each building will have its own individual, because every school has to have a different spot to go to for family reunification and that type of thing. So now that we have the district, the next step on that will be to put together each building's plan and work with the leaders for that one as well. So my recommendation is that you did see the draft. Any questions about what you saw in the draft?
I'll just say, very comprehensive. All in aircraft plan, I mean, everything's in there.
Well, and again, some of those you'd be surprised. The only one I really took out, and you guys will laugh, but I took out hurricane.
I don't laugh at all. Now, you don't know anything anymore. I mean, climate is what it is,
Well,
so.
and again, trains, because we do have behind our Valley View schools, and
Absolutely.
behind Battle Creek Area Math and Sciences. We have trains, and there could be things that happen there, so we do have to kind of forward think that, and that's why I said, oh yeah, I can put this together, and I said, no, let's put it together, so,
It wasn't a dig, that was a compliment, very comprehensive.
thank you. All right, any questions? Once.
Thank you so much. You're good. Okay, moving on to C, Grace Health additional to Springfield Middle School.
I'm just gonna go ahead and wait for this one. This one I'm really happy to share with you. As you know about the Summer with Grace Health, they've been a longtime partner of the district for a number of years. And the partnership that they had over at Springfield Middle School, they want to expand on the services that they have there. And the one thing I was very happy is that Ashley Roberts, who wrote the background, can you imagine how many more unique students they would be able to serve if we were to gain just an additional 300 square feet? Over the time when they had their 627 students that walked in, 40 medical provider visits, 14 sports physical, and 48 other visits just up until October when I wrote this up. So giving them just that additional space, which is costing us nothing. Did I tell you that? All right, how much is it costing us?
Zero.
Costing us
It's
zero.
always good.
That's always, I thought you liked that. It's no cost. Now, we will have the occupancy costs associated with the expansion of the space and the cleanliness and that type of thing. But again, for them to take on the bulk of the cost is wonderful. So again, it's my recommendation that the Board of Education support the construction and expansion of Grace Health at Springfield Middle School. And it comes at no cost. Battle Creek Public School.
Was
Okay.
I didn't see. Maybe I missed it. Was the space being used for anything at all currently?
So what it is, if you look at the diagram we
Yes,
gave
I
you,
didn't see
right,
it.
what they're going to do is they're just going to bump out a wall, in other words, an existing wall, and just move it 10 feet over. So they're going to demo one wall, create another one, which will give them an extra 300 square feet.
The other side of it. It was.
It's a classroom, and when we did the analysis of it, the classroom space that we will be taking up will still keep it within the parameters of needed classroom space.
And so I was curious. So it is. It's a classroom that's moving. Okay. Thank you.
Why wasn't this done when we remodeled Springfield and they were closed for
Sure.
the initial remodel?
Right, well, when they first started, they actually wanted to do an exterior build. And they wanted to spend their money. And as I said, it's no cost to us. So they wanted to come and say, we want to put an additional, I think it was 100 square foot on the outside. And the cost of that would have been prohibitive. So we suggested, we just dump the wall. So to your point, they will be able to do it over the summer. So it'll be no invasive, no intrusion on the academic school year. It'll be done over the summer and be ready to go when September comes in.
Thank you.
How does the teacher feel of that classroom? I'm kidding, because it's my husband, so. I heard about this a long time ago.
I was going to say, actually, I
He's
didn't get any
good.
pushback. Didn't get any pushback, so that's all, no news is good news. Keep it moving forward. Keep it moving forward.
Any other questions or comments?
It's good to keep track of kids.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Good, good. I can step down. So-
Yes.
Thank you again.
Thank you. Next up is D, YPIC, Dr. Cheeks.
Good evening and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Mo.
I am bringing to you tonight to request the approval of an agreement with the Youth Positive Impact Coaching / Fatherhood Program. It's a phenomenal organization that we've had the opportunity to receive their services thus far on a temporary in-kind donation. And so that's how we've been able to kind of see how that programming has worked with our school district. They are making impact in the community. So the children that they work with in our school district actually remain connected outside of the school district with after-school programming, evening programming, enrichment activities. So they are literally a well-rounded programming that speaks to children in school, after school, and even in the evening. More impactful is that this program is family whole child related. So they are making connections with the family, the school, and the individual student and the community. So all facets of which Student Services hopes to provide, this organization is supporting the school district with doing that. Currently, their in-kind services have been working inside of Ann J. Kellogg and Verona Elementary. And then on their own, they're even reading to students at Fremont. That is something that YPIC and the Fatherhood Program does out externally. They also have provided services to our teen parents, mainly at WK Kellogg Preparatory Academy. So we're coming here today to see if we can get approval for this program to extend beyond what's been currently offered as an in-kind donation. And I do have Mr. Heath here, so if you just want to come up just briefly and introduce yourself. And then I have Miss Maria Mawari, who has kind of been leading the charge with Mr. Heath. And so if there's any questions that comes up, she can also answer those. But Mr. Heath, you just want to introduce yourself and briefly the program.
Thank you for that. Appreciate
No
it.
problem.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here. Really excited to be here because this is my high school that I graduated from. So I'm a graduate in 2008, and it reminds me of the students these days that I was once one of those students. So I'm Marcel Heath. I am the director for the Fatherhood Family Service Hub. That is a new initiative in town that is focusing on supporting fathers, children, and the family. We specialize in teaching fathers nurturing fatherhood skills. We've had at least 6 graduations so far. Supporting dads with graduating with the parenting class. We partner with DHS, CPS, foster care to help align services for dads. We do supervised visits as well. We help with court motions. We've had in 2024 11 return homes from dads that we work with through CPS. And so we're well-rounded with supporting families from early childhood as well. We have a strong focus in early childhood, so we can guide families on that. Preschool systems as well, and so we're pretty heavy. And so with YPIC, the reason why YPIC is involved now is because the fatherhood program noticed that children needed more supports, and most of our children are in Valkyrie Public Schools. And so as I'm working with these dads, the children need opportunities of engagement, they need opportunities of male positive influence, they need just an opportunity to be able to have someone they can look up to. And we consider ourselves that tangible piece and working with them because the possibilities are endless. Once they can adapt their image to a positive role model, they can then proceed in life with their goals. And so I'm gonna let Brandon introduce himself as well.
I'm Brandon Reynolds. I'm the operation manager of YPIC. We came up with this just sitting in the office, and Marcel came to me and was like, Brandon, you're a good mentor for the kids. Do you feel like mentoring? So we put together YPIC, and a week later, Mariama gave us a call saying she wanted us to do a pilot in the school, and it took off from there. I'm always around the youth. I coach AAU. I'm 8th grade basketball coach for Battle Creek Public Schools. I might take the football job for 8th grade, but I'm not sure yet because I do so much. AAU keeps me AAU with the Serial City, the inner city kids, and then we got our stuff we're putting together for the kids at the Y Center and stuff like that. So I'm busy, but this is keeping me, like I said, like Dr. Cheek said, we're around the clock.
Yeah.
We're around the clock. We get phone calls from teachers. I'll pull up to the school when I can. I just love doing this. Love doing it.
So we do have a small presentation we're going to go through here. We don't want to keep you all night, but we just want to, this button, like I think
Is it locked?
It's not a clicker, you just, there you go.
Oh, okay, right here. Thank you, thank you. I think it went down too many. Got these newbies up here, see? How do we go back one? I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Yep, and this is just our mission right here, that YPIC mission is to support students in and out of school. We feel as though the schools need support, and we need support with our programming as well by joining and partnering with the schools. And so we're building, fostering relationships with the parents, with the child, with the centers, with the parties that's involved with this child. And so our mission is to make sure all students, their attendance, behavior, and coursework improve by participating in our program based on our curriculum that we are implementing for them. YPIC focus is to serve elementary students. Again, we're focusing on the 1st through 6th grade right now. We really wanted to start early. We didn't want to come in and start at the high school level because we really would have a large gap of service that children wouldn't have had if we wouldn't have started early. So we're strategic about implementing our program early and making sure that we follow this group all the way up through middle school and high school, just so that we know that these kids' temperament, their behavior, their family needs, the resources that come around that, it just helps as they prolong or get older through the program. So
We are geared to go to the first year of college too.
So just a little bit about our curriculum. I'm gonna let Brandon talk about that piece and do that.
So
yep.
the kids come in, they grab their folder. This is our color wheel. It shows the emotions: joy, trust, surprise, anger, fear. And so they'll pick one, how they're feeling that day, depending on how they woke up. And they'll sit down, and somebody put anger. They gotta write a sentence or two on why they feel angry, what made you angry this morning. So then the kids will present this in a circle. They'll stand up, present it, tell everybody how they're feeling. If somebody's angry, we try to find a way. It's peer ran. So the kids will stand up and say myself, I say I'm angry. My mom woke me up early. That's a lot of kids nowadays. Mom woke them up early, or they didn't get to play on their tablet before school. And so Marcel would say, well, Next time, he'll give them positive feedback. Well, next time, you shouldn't worry about playing with your tablet. Get up, get ready for school. You know you got get up early. Just give them some positive feedback. So then the kids do that, and we have a tracking sheet that they'll go on and put if they're what category they fell under, so we can track it. So we had kids in Verona that were angry the first 2 weeks. Their sheets show they're not angry no more. So we track all of that stuff to see if we can get a kid from being angry, sad, anything. So if I see a kid that's been sad for 2 days, I might pull him away from the group and talk to him and see what's going on. So what's the big picture? Then if I can't figure out, Marcel will call the parent and we'll try to see what's going on at home. And we'll bring it full circle.
Yeah, but another piece around our curriculum as well is the literacy piece, because it's around the SEL, the social emotional learning. It's important for our boys to understand their emotions. That's why we have the emotional wheel, to help them identify, oh, when this trigger happens, it's that emotion. And I got a plan on how to, help that emotion right there. And so we do have the literacy books, The Invisible Boy, which talks about a young man coming to a school, and the students are trying to, he wants to make friends, and someone stands up and make a friend with him. And then there's a book that we use. We like to use these books to just give these kids an actual story, a practical opportunity to learn from. So The Last Stop on the Market Street is about a young boy driving the bus with his grandma, riding the bus with his grandma. And she takes him to soup kitchens, and he volunteers, and he gives back, and everyone's like, why don't you have a car? And so just helping kids process that. And then there's another book called The Shoes, and these are books that we've used in our class. And everyone got these new shoes on at school. You know how it is. Everybody got the new shoes. Why don't I have that? Am I valued enough? Am I good enough? But he found another way to, focus himself, which is by giving back and supporting others. And so if we find ways to channel that, that's kind of what we like to do. Yep, go ahead.
So on the DCG, just so we hit on that, so we tell you, so that's also based on behaviors too. So if a kid got in-school suspension or pushed a kid or anything like that, we do ask the kids to be honest with us, and a lot of them are. I know because I asked the principals and the teachers what happened before I go into the class, and a lot of them are honest. So if Marcel pushed a kid, he'll get up and say, I got in trouble for pushing a kid. I'll call on a couple of his peers, and they'll get positive feedback on how not to push a kid or what you should do in that situation instead of pushing a kid. We like it being peer ran because a lot of these kids follow their friends. So we try to make it peer ran. And so far it's been working.
I know my friend is going to tell me I need to stop a certain behavior. That's different. I'm going to do that. And then we actually have this approach, which is called the multi-generational approach. I have early childhood connection background, so I do home visiting as well. And with that, so if I get into a home, they have a child that's of age for GSRP, and so I can guide that family on everything developmentally, preschool resource around that GSRP student and that family that need that. And then we have, which is why I picked now, where we're in the schools, we're supporting youth, around SEL, the ABCs, and making sure they're showing up. And then being able to support the dads and the moms and creating goals with the parenting classes and parenting awareness around what they need to do. And so our in-home visits really encompasses a lot. We assess the families on where they're at. Sometimes when you're trying to work with a family, you're just like, right, what's going on? Well, there's some noise in the background. You just haven't figured out what it is that got their attention or why they're not focused so much. So as we assess the families on transportation, basic needs, health, do you have a home doctor when you go when you get sick? We kind of assess them on all these things. Do you feel valued as a parent? Just to highlight and then move them forward to that end goal, which was being successful for them.
And we haven't had no parent deny a home visit yet.
Yep. Home visits consist of phone calls. We have had home visits at the schools with the principals around behaviors and reentry, guiding families, helping them be comfortable in those meetings. We even have an email from a principal, Miss Washington, or Miss Bentley at Ann J. Kellogg, and I know Brandon could speak more on that one for sure.
Yeah. So at Ann J, we're like a push-in. We deal with the Tier 3, Tier 2 kids, 3rd through 5th, It's just we go grab them, meet with them, talk to them, see how their day's been going. We have progress reports that we give the teachers give it to us when we walk in. I have another coach, Malcolm, he takes the kid while I meet with the teacher, so I can see what's going on. Then I'll come and join the meeting or the coaching that Malcolm's doing. We're the 6th grade, we're a class, we're a special. So I have them from 12:59 to 1:55. And right now we're concentrating on academics because their academics are pretty bad. But Ms. Sparks said we got 4 kids that had mostly E's. We got a lot of them that had 4 E's. We got 4 of them to pass. So we're concentrating on academics. We're doing reading a lot. Like today we broke up in groups. I handled the English part. I think Mr. Fisher handled the science and Mr. McCoy handled math. So we're trying to help them with their academics because a lot of them, they're not getting it. And another thing we did, we made them take their report cards home because I don't think a lot of their parents see them. We made them get it signed and all of them brought it back with their parents signed. And so we're just trying to get the parents involved with the 6th graders right now. But that happens. We're at J Monday and Friday.
Thank you. Yeah.
So Verona, this was a tough one because the 3rd graders. So, but they're starting to come together.
They are, which is exciting. It's really exciting.
So we're a special at that school. So we have Tuesday and Thursday. I have 4 classes on Tuesday, 5 on Thursday. And we see from 3rd all the way to 5th graders. They're tier 2, tier 3. Met with Miss Washington last week. And she told us she went through her data and the 3rd grade suspensions have went down a lot since they've been in our class. So we're still working with them. They're improving on their test scores as well, the 3rd graders. We're getting them to buy in. Ms. Washington was excited once she seen the suspensions went down. And I heard it from the teachers first, and then she came running, letting us know. That's a good experience being as a special just in her class. So we teach, I think it's like 40-minute blocks. So we get them in there, we go over like what we explained to y'all with the emotional will, all of that stuff, and we have them reading. So we'll start off reading to them, and then I'll call the name to make sure they're following through. The first week it was rough, now everybody follows through. I got kids telling other kids, hey, be quiet, follow through, because he's gonna call on you. You know, it's just stuff that they're picking up, and it's a good turnaround over there right now.
It is, which is really exciting too. We have a center program too, so a lot of them are making it to our Friday opportunities where behavior is met, attendance is met, coursework is met, and so they're actually showing up. We got a kid that we don't even hear from anymore in the 3rd grade. Keon, you know, we don't hear anything. We just walk in the building, teachers are like pulling him, trying to get him together. He's running up the stairs. He's doing a little bit of everything, and we're actually been showing up for him, and his behavior has decreased tremendously because of our coaching. And he's also in our basketball program, which they're practicing now from 6 to 8 at the Y Center, 150 kids. And so we're able to reach them where they're at. This is our intentional Fremont International Academy Literacy Program. We have community leaders, you know, business owner, men, black men that are coming into the school at Fremont. We are intentional with that focus, showing our black boys, giving them opportunity, connecting to professions, experience through literacy. And so we've had officers come out, we've had people that are doing solo panels come out in their uniform. I come out in my fatherhood gear, we come out in our white pit gear. There's 14 classrooms. We actually read to Fremont this coming Wednesday, and there's 14 different black males that come out and read to them. And I did bring our books as well. We have a nice mix of books over here. I'll show you a couple really quick, just so you can kind of get some topics on what we're doing with them. This one is Good Sport. This one is Nastradine, that's another one. And then it's Happy Birthday, Martin Luther King. And so they're really intentional with the books that they are choosing over there that we have. We have another one here. Let's see here. 30 Minutes Over Oregon. And so basically just making sure, because Fremont International has a lot of, opportunities in their curriculum where they're exposing the kids to different cultures. And so they have a lot of books centered around that. And so we love reading to the kids. We know third grade reading scores is a focus, and we want to implement a strategy to help BCPS with that. Also, because of the early childhood side, so we've been working at WK Prep High School, supporting teen parents around child development, parenting techniques. We do that bi-weekly over there with students. We have some that actually age out of WK Prep, and then I follow them along. I tell my dads, fatherhood isn't a destination, it's a journey. And so I'm going to stay with you on this journey until you feel as though you're confident enough to do it on your own. And that's one of the fatherhood models. And so this is a email from Principal Calvin Williams, just basically, giving us some feedback on how imperative our program is to WK Prep and how it supports the students. And we've been over there for about 3 years now before we actually had a partnership with BCPS. So this is a video. I don't know if it'll play or not, but it shows that outside of Battle Creek Public, we have an interest. There's opportunities where we have a basketball program. Yes, that's Mariama. She's in the video. I wish I could play it. I do have it here. I just wanted to expose you to how many children from Battle Creek Public is in this video and how many kids we're actually coaching. And so when we coach these kids, we're not just coaching them around basketball. Most of the times, once we bring it in at the end for our huddle, we're talking about behavior. We're talking about coursework. We had Sean, I believe, principal at Fremont, gave me a call about a student, and he just was like, hey, I got a student over here that's misbehaving. I know he's in your basketball program. Can I use this as leverage? I said, sure. And sure enough, the young man got on the phone. I said, could you recite what we talk about every practice at the end? Doing my work, coming to school, good behavior. I said, you hear that? So we talk about that, and he just was kind of blown back that we actually try to bridge that gap on that end. Of course, with other life skills that we try to set them up with too. So, yeah, I wish I could share that video to you, but I don't think it'll play. We'll move forward on that, and then once a Bearcat, always a Bearcat. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. Any questions for us? I don't know if that's even, oh, yes.
I want one today. I took my vitamins. So of course I've had the pleasure of working with the Fatherhood Program, collaborating as a mental health professional. And one of the things that I appreciated was the focus on shifting cultural values and mindsets with dads, right? And you being an NJ, you see this and you know this, and it's a struggle. Like when you talk to teachers and parents and families, and we're struggling at NJ, which is one of the reasons why I chose it. And I'm curious about. So I have 3 questions, but the first one is, how will we integrate what you do with fatherhood? I know you, especially saying no parents have denied us. So how do we leverage that to create a more intentional values shifting, some opportunities for families? So you don't have to answer that today, but I'm just saying I think that there's an opportunity to bridge fatherhood and White Pick in that way, particularly for those families.
Most certainly, and we've been discussing with the team in Mariama. They've been doing great work in supporting us along this journey. Just putting on some symposiums for parents, opportunities to come and learn. Right now I got a 10-week session, so that wouldn't be best to set up, but to break out some pieces from my curriculum, some opportunities on child development, even some active coaching tips, for sure, to be able to put a package deal together where they can come out and experience someone speaking, talking, someone they know, relatable, and to try to bridge that gap. Yep. And so, yeah, the Sanders, for sure, yeah.
So,
and we've been talking, so I just want to make sure I ain't going too far.
no, that's okay.
Okay.
So what I did want to mention though is some other ways in which families, especially fathers, can get the resources from Marcel, Mr. Heath, and Mr. Reynolds is through the parent, formerly known as Parent University, now known as
Bearcat Family Connections.
Bearcat Family Connections, where there will be they'll actually be there as a resource. We're trying to still plan that out when they'll be a part of that, but as Mr. Heath mentioned earlier, we are trying to get them to a place where they can actually do some of these things for parents to come in, almost like a learning experience within the Family Connections program.
And two quick ones. Is it all kids or by tiers that get opportunities, and then the other that you engage with? And then the other question is, so we have some of our behavioral interventionists who are like doing groups and different things as well. So some of that sounds similar to that. So how do we know, how are we distinguishing what's, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep, so the students, so this year we do have a lot of students who are rising to the levels beyond tier 2 and well into tier 3. And so we want your behavior interventionists focusing on the groups and the caseloads that they have, but some of those students may matriculate to needing more intensive resources, and there are some students who will not end up on a caseload and will instead be placed with YPIC for their services. So the schools, the behavior interventionists, and the principal for now, and Ms. Worry, correct me if I'm wrong, have been selecting the students who are going to work with YPIC based on, for the most part, they're either upper tier 2 or tier 3 status and needing some additional supports beyond what the school building what would be interrupting instruction would do. These folks are coming in to service that.
so it's tiered based, right? So not, so all the kids aren't gonna get social.
Eventually, depending on how long we have the opportunity to have this program with us, there'll be some tier 1 works that they'll be working with our team with to make sure that those practices are throughout an entire school building. Therefore, all students and all families have the opportunities to have those tier 1 practices and resources available to them. But the intentional focus is going to be on your tier 3 students right now, upper tier 2.
And they actually collaborate with the behavior interventionists because they're not there every day. So the behavior interventionists will follow up with them as well. But just to kind of have a more wider reach, a broader reach of the students within the building. The tier 1 supports, we have other community partners within the building to do that, like communities and schools. So we wanted to really focus in on the tier 2, tier 3 students. And they have a whole child approach, right, with the home visitations and the community outreach, as well as in school.
And so, you know, Mariama did come up, we did say if a kid does go up to tier 1, we're not gonna forget about that kid. We're still gonna go check on that kid. Yeah.
I have oh yeah, go ahead.
Just a real quick question. I really like what I hear, especially I'm kind of familiar with positive peer group and culture. Your emotional will, I'm really curious about that. I kind of have some experience, something similar to that. Your emotional will, because that could kick off a lot of feelings in kids when you're going through the will. Do you have a plan, or do you plan with the kids? Because if you're keeping track, you're able to identify that area.
Yes.
Do you guys develop a plan which they can put at home, up on the wall or something like that to help identify those triggers? I'm just curious.
I'm glad you brought that up. So I'm not gonna lie, my dad actually told me that about a week ago, because I went over some stuff with him and he kind of was like, you need to send something like a poster home for the kid to help him out. And we are in the process of printing all those out.
And it may not come in the form of a poster, but to have a conversation on some different goals, some different approaches, some incentives to make sure that this child behavior is up to par to where we want. But for sure, having something like that in place will be ideal for what we're trying to do. It just mirror.
And to go a little farther, we've had emotional kids like out of the emotional will, and it's stuff they tell us that they don't tell teachers or principals.
Right. You know you got a good program when you happen. I work with your brother. I actually trained him, so I was kind of curious about if that was the role you were following.
Yes.
Thank you for that, for sure. We have oh yeah, please.
Yeah. See, first of all, yeah, it sounds really awesome. I'm excited that we're expanding this program. I love that you're doing the data collection, like with the emotion wheel improvement. I would love to see, anonymize your data for like emotional improvement. If there's data out there tied to attendance or any other things that you kind of mentioned that would be decreasing or increasing. I'd love to see that, and I think it'd be great just for everyone to be able to have.
We do have data. I just didn't come to speak on that piece.
You want them to email one?
Do we want to share it?
I'll talk to Dr.
Included in our.
Yeah, okay.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's for the students that they've already been servicing, and the data would continue with those same students and or students who are new to the programming.
I believe three-part question, I guess, depending on the answer to the first part. Is RISE still operating in the schools?
No.
Okay, so this is kind of like taking the place of that. Okay, so as I was like listening, I was like, this sounds very similar to what that program is, more comprehensive. So, okay, that answers that then. Taking the place of that.
So I have a quick question. I'm just trying to clarify the building. So are you doing Verona, NJ, WK Prep? Is this going to expand beyond those, or this is just making that formal with those three?
This is a pilot year. We're definitely want to expand throughout. I didn't have Post Franklin call us, STEM call us. It's been a lot of schools calling us. I didn't deal with STEM because I'm the 8th grade coach. So I get a lot of their issues and a lot of problems. So I go up there and they call me because I'm the coach. So I told Marcel we didn't have parents call us to get their kids in the program.
They know we're in Battle Creek Public, but they don't know where. And so they're like, hey, we got a kid up here. I want you to go check them out, and we'll go do it, but the high school isn't our focus yet. But we would love to get into the high school and scale it up a little bit for sure. Maybe next year in the fall, we look forward to that. And we, like I tell my dads, why pick? We're not just a destination. Oh, we did a one-stop shop. We're here on a journey. We're here. My kids go to Battle Creek Public. They're at Fremont. My daughter's going to be in. I got 3 children, so I'm invested in the community. As long as I'm here, for sure. And so we don't plan on to switch up, change up. We actually want to integrate, implement, strategize together, and co-create. So thank you for this opportunity.
So to your point, we are expanding the partnership to go into those 2 pilot buildings for the rest of the school year. Those buildings were picked because grades 3 through 5 specifically in those buildings presented the most need for this programming.
Questions?
No more questions? I do want to share this one story, the Sanders, you may be familiar with. No, oh, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Newbies. Newbies. I got comfortable, I'm sorry. See, I'm good. I'm done.
Okay. You can share the
share,
story,
just no
but
name.
just
Yes,
no.
so we have a family, thank you.
There you go.
Turn it off.
Share the story.
So we have a family for sure, and I know there was some concerns when we came in that suspensions, violence, and so forth and so on. When we first came on, that was one of our tasks, and we're still working with Dad. And Dad has some health concerns, and I always tell my dads, strong dads equal strong families, and strong families equal strong communities. And so I can do everything with your kid, but if you're over there and you're not strong, it doesn't work. And so I had to help him with his breathing machine. He had an appointment way out in 3 Rivers. He couldn't drive. He'll fall asleep at the wheel any moment. Someone has to be hitting him, talking to him, making sure he's alive and awake. And most times it's his children that's doing that. And he now have had at Bronson an appointment because I had to call and see, hey, when can we get him in? Just bridging the gap for a lot of my families. Once that's done, they can start to become themselves again. So I got him to that point. I did get his son into the Michigan State Gun Violence Prevention Program. Just enrolled, but we haven't completed that task. I got a good 3 months of that program, but then behavior kind of got in the way of that. We just want to let you know we're hands-on, and that dad calls me every day. He just called me today looking for some more resources. They're being evicted, and so I'm currently helping him with that. And so you don't only get us to focus on the dads, to focus on the kids or early childhood. It's a whole humanistic approach, and so we're going to support the whole family as best we can with all resources. And I've been a home visitor and doing this work for about 11 years now. So I'm excited to share that. So I just want to share that with you.
I would like to add, and thanks for bringing that up, this summer is actually when the work began.
Yeah.
So the YPIC team actually went out with us and they did home visits. And they knocked on the doors of our families that needed some of the most intensive services. And a lot of those families who weren't showing up last school year are here this school year. And so the impact for this program began in the summer and has gone through up until now.
We have a student now that no longer needs any services. The family needs nothing, and they were the first family we were recommended this summer. And he's excelling in school. He's doing great in sports. He's doing well. We see him in the community, the grandparents, and they're always like,
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it. He listening at home. He doing his chores. He not argumentative. He going to school. He happy. He set a goal with Marcel at the home visit that he wanted A's and B's, and as of right now, he has A's and B's.
The power of advocacy. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to public comment. Do we have any public comment? Okay. Superintendent comments.
See if I can talk. Just a couple of things. We want to remind you that this Friday is a half day for all students and that there are no school for students on Monday. So it's a long weekend for our students. And Monday, January 20th is MLK Day. And so while there is no school on the 20th, it is a day of service. We will be engaging in our Start the Bus event from 9 to 3 p.m. We'll be at the WK Preparatory High School parking lot collecting non-perishable food, new or gently used children's clothing, sizes extra small to 5X. So if you want to participate, please feel free to make some donations or even sign up to, volunteer to be at the bus on that day, 9 to 3 at WK Prep. The deadline to submit your application for the 2025 SEED Award is approaching. BCPS students in grades K through 11 are encouraged to apply by submitting their completed applications to the CIS coordinator in their building by January 31st. And then finally, I want to remind everybody that we do have a bond committee meeting. It's scheduled for Wednesday, January 22nd at 6 p.m. We encourage all members to attend as we'll be discussing important updates and making sure that we know next steps in communicating to the public what we are trying to accomplish. That is a virtual meeting, so if you're interested in joining us, you can email the board secretary to be added to that list. That's all.
Board member comment. Trustee McClenny?
Thank you. Just wanted to give a shout out to the Follies crew. Went to the Follies Saturday. I was extremely happy to see the Follies back. As they say, a restart. I think that was the word they used. The short amount of people that they had, and then those who came back to help. It was a treasure seeing some of those people there. Looking forward to the band growing and the drum line and the chorus line. So I'm looking forward to all the kids coming and joining. Second, I know how rumors are and they get going. Just for clarification purposes, I did not say I was leaving. To you all out there, I didn't say I was leaving tomorrow. I said I wouldn't finish my term, and I know that. I have discussed this with superintendent and board president. I don't have a date. I plan on, at least it'll be a while, but I just know I won't be finishing the full term.
Any other board? Trustee Johnson?
Yeah, so I also had the pleasure of attending Follies. And I'm a Follies alum. I was like in everything on the act, so I was excited to see it come back. And also looking forward to it being standing room only, right? Like what it used to be. And I know that the pandemic likely impacted that. We had to stop and bring it back. And so there are probably some students who don't even know what the Follies, right? It's been so long. So I'm looking forward to seeing that grow and helping it grow. But it was good. It really was. The acts were good. Shout out to Mr. Elliott.
was. Great job.
He can put on a show. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Grayjack?
Thank you. Well, I just first want to say, a big welcome to trustees Dorman and Hoagland Jackson. Very excited to work with you guys. And then also, congrats to President Fulbright. I know you've had put a lot of work into your education and everything to reach this, and I'm very excited to serve with you in this role. So, Happy New Year.
Real quick, I just wanted to echo and say welcome to our new trustees. I'm glad that we are kicking off our new year, having our mentorship program as a new thing, so that is a great and exciting feature. And then just don't hesitate to ask. I liked how Mr. Heath kept saying that this is not a journey, or this is a journey. That's exactly how being on board is. It's a journey, and you're constantly learning and getting new things, so welcome.
So I also would like to echo what they said and welcome our 2 new board members. And one thing that I wanted to share with the rest of the board, I'm super excited because I've been told, I've heard through the grapevine that both new board members have already or are in the process of getting their CBA 101, which I think is super exciting because this is their first meeting and they've already started the learning process, which I think is great because we're always learning every conference we attend, and I've been here 6 years and I still learn something new every day. Art still learns something, and he's been here the longest. So I'm super excited that you guys are diving right in and joining this board, and look forward to our future. Anything else? Great things are happening in Battle Creek Public Schools. Meeting adjourned.
So, Kate,